Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's take a quick look outside our sweltering hot weather window from this afternoon. And yeah, it was a hot one all over north central Washington today. This shot looking down from our Waterville Sky-Fi Tower camera at beautiful Columbia River. And of course, just off to the left center of your screen, the edge of Eniat there. And lots of blue sky, not even any clouds or breeze to help things out today. Let's go back to yesterday for a second. A lot of high temperature records were set. In fact, Ephrata, 115 degrees. How about Lewiston, Idaho, 117, 112 in Omak. 108 officially at the airport in East Wenatchee. 109 was our record yesterday. I know a lot of folks out there thought it was hotter than that yesterday in Moses Lake at 112, but today, even hotter than that. Here are some all-time record highs from around the area. Here in Wenatchee, we are at 110. We set an all-time record high today, as did Omak. Ephrata, the last time I checked, was right at 115 degrees. And Winthrop as well will set an all-time record high today. And by the time we get together tomorrow, I'll have a complete list of those record highs. And boy, we'll talk much more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Chelan County officials say the risk of wildfire is very high now throughout most of the county. Because of the extreme fire danger and scorching temperatures, all trails in the Dry Gulch Preserve and the Wenatchee foothills have been closed. And a vehicle went off Highway 17 and sparked a wildfire yesterday afternoon at Lake Lenore, about 8 miles north of Soap Lake. But first, our top story tonight. The Chelan County PUD is expecting record summer demands for local power this week as days of 100-plus degree temperatures drag on. But PUD officials say they're in good position to handle it. In fact, even though air conditioners are humming at almost 24 hours a day, the power being consumed doesn't rival the demand the PUD sees on the coldest days of winter. PUD Public Information Officer Rachel Hansen said the highest ever demand for power in the past 5 years was 491 megawatts. That was back on January 5th, 2017, when the low temperature dipped to almost 2 below zero. By comparison, the record for a summer day was 253 megawatts. That was July 30th of last summer when temperatures reached 107 degrees. The PUD estimated power use would peak at 277 megawatts Monday at 6 p.m., and it's expected to jump to 283 megawatts today and then back down to 275 on Wednesday. Chelan County officials say the risk of wildfire is very high throughout most of the county. As of today, county commissioners have put in place measures that outlaw recreational campfires and all outdoor burning in unincorporated areas. Historically hot temperatures have left forests and sagelands tinder dry in the Chelan and Valley zones of the county. As a reminder, recreational fireworks are prohibited in both Chelan and Douglas counties. Well, because of extreme fire danger and those scorching temperatures, all trails in the Dry Gulch Preserve and the Wenatchee foothills have been closed. The privately owned preserve is comprised of 685 acres adjacent to the Saddle Rock Trail system. The Dry Gulch Board said they're aiming to reopen the trails by Sunday if possible. Currently, the concern is human-caused fires in the dry hillsides. Well, a vehicle went off Highway 17 and sparked a wildfire yesterday afternoon at Lake Lenore, about 8 miles north of Soap Lake. Traffic on the highway was blocked for about an hour while firefighters from Grant County Fire District 7 and 13 quickly contained the blaze. The Washington State Patrol said 61-year-old Larry Gibb of Arizona told troopers he was driving his 2000 Ford F-350 north. It was about 12:45 p.m. when a southbound vehicle swerved into his lane, forcing him to take evasive action. Trooper John Bryant said Gibb's truck hit a rock wall, bounced off, and crossed the highway where he ended up in a ditch. Gibb suffered minor injuries and was not hospitalized. Well, coming up next, fire crews suppressed a fire along Lakeshore Road in Chelan yesterday. Wenatchee Valley College will partially reopen its campuses in a few days as the COVID-19 pandemic is on the wane. And Leavenworth Mayor and the city administrator have shifted duties. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
Did you know people 65 or older make up 12% of the U.S. population but consume 34% of all prescription drugs? Protect yourself and your aged loved ones from prescription errors. Always read labels carefully to avoid mistakes. Ask your pharmacist if over-the-counter medicines conflict with your prescriptions, and never skip doses or take more than is prescribed. This message sponsored by Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington. Call 1-800-572-4459 for prescription assistance.
Hi, Stephen DeVilbiss here, Branch Manager of Beneficial and Home Care. We are an equal opportunity employer, and we do not discriminate in employment or services. It is our mission to maximize our clients' physical health and sense of mental well-being while remaining in the comfort of their home. We are currently seeking professional caregivers who share our mission to help our clients live safely and comfortably at home. Call Beneficial and Home Care. Schedule your interview today, 509-663-7900.
Welcome back. In another news, Chelan firefighters quickly got control of a roadside fire on South Lakeshore Road yesterday afternoon. Chelan Fire and Rescue says the fire in the 18,000 block was burning in trees and brush when they were called about 2:45 p.m. and it threatened a nearby structure. Firefighters held the burning area to less than an acre with help from a DNR helicopter crew. The cause of the fire is under investigation, but there was a report of 7 to 10 popping noises in the area approximately 30 minutes before the fire started. Wenatchee Valley College will partially reopen its campuses in a few days as the COVID-19 pandemic is on the wane. Starting Thursday, both the Wenatchee and Omak campuses will open to students and the public 3 days a week, Tuesdays through Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Masking and social distancing are still required. The college plans to reopen fully in September, just in time for the fall quarter if health conditions allow. College President Jim Richardson says, quote, providing in-person services is critical to better serve both our prospective and current students, unquote. Leavenworth Mayor Carl Floria is trading some of his responsibilities with his city administrator, Anna Cortez Steiner, who joined the city last year, who will oversee strategic projects and initiatives, while Floria, elected in 2019, will manage the city staff and offices. That's normally been the job of the city administrator. Floria says the move will help expedite projects, including a wastewater treatment update, developing a potential community center and park, and master plans for the city's downtown and waterfront. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
At Wenatchee Power Sports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Power Sports.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
The Tan Republic Bronze Without Borders membership is our best membership to date. Discounted monthly dues, access to over 65 locations, 25% off all products, discounted upgrades and spray tanning, members only specials, and of course, we treat you like a VIT. Very important tanner. Ask your certified Smart Tan associate how you can sign up for a Bronze Without Borders membership program today and save. Tan beautiful. Tan Republic.
Are you a take charge kind of person? Consider a career as a health unit coordinator. You'll work to keep health facilities running efficiently by coordinating medical providers, patients, and departments. The Charter College Certificate in Health Unit Coordinator program can get you up to speed on basic patient care, health records management, health and safety procedures, and medical billing. And the 10-month online program includes a computer you keep. Get started at chartercollege.edu, where we work to get you to work.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Chelan County's new chief prosecutor is just getting started in the job, but he already says he plans to run for election to the post next year. Robert Sealby is a 59-year-old career attorney who's practiced in Wenatchee for 30 years. He was appointed to the prosecutor's office and sworn in June 1st to take the place of retiring prosecutor Doug Shea. In tonight's features story, he spoke to NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins about his new role as Chelan County's top lawyer.
Doug has a great reputation. He ran a very good office, and I thought I'd like to get in there and kind of keep it going.
Talk about the prosecuting attorney's role as lawyer for the county. What does your office do for the county in a legal sense?
Well, the county is our client. That's the easiest way to look at it. We're the attorney for the county. So, for example, if Susan's got something going on with Dina Walters, the assessor, Susan is her legal counselor. If Eric's got something for me, I'm Eric's legal counselor. Whether it's reviewing a contract, looking at a public works project, getting involved in litigation, whatever the case might be. So the county is our client. The county commissioners are our client. They come to us with a variety of legal issues we need to research, give them advice on, give them direction on. We can't tell them what to do. We give them the advice. I don't make any decisions as far as what the Board of County Commissioners wants to do and that type of thing. We just are their legal advisors. And that's for all departments across the county, whether it's the Sheriff's Department, the Treasurer's Office, the Assessor's Office, the Clerk's Office, the Auditor's Office. But as an elected official, I've got independence from them and discretion to do what I need to do, I think, on behalf of the county. But I can't go out and do something, file a lawsuit or take some action without still talking with the county commissioners or talking with the various departments that we represent.
As you come into office, the Blake decision is something that local prosecutors are having to try and wrap their heads around a lot. You're probably coming into this with a caseload of people saying, I want my conviction overturned because Blake dictates so. So how does your office handle something like that?
Well, we've got one prosecutor who's kind of dedicated to that, Lee O'Brien, and Lee's very good at following those cases. There's funding issues that the legislature requires reimbursement on fines or LFOs, legal financial obligations that these folks have paid as a result of those convictions. So it's not only vacating the conviction, but it's reimbursing fees or fines that have been paid. And I think the legislature earmarked $42 million statewide for counties to make sure those reimbursements can get paid. So Lee's working with Kim Morrison, our clerk, to try to backtrack and determine all the cases where these convictions occurred because of these drug possession crimes, which are no longer crimes or won't be soon, but we're already treating them like that. It's going to be an ongoing process. I mean, I think they go back, we're looking at cases that go back 20, 25 years, some of them. And some people we won't find probably. And it's nothing that's going to be resolved in the next year or two. It's probably going to be 3, 4, 5 years before everything's taken care of, and maybe not even then.
Time now to take a look at that north central Washington weather forecast, and welcome to day 4 of 9 days in a row above 100-degree temperatures here in the Wenatchee Valley. Not only above 100, above 110 today. We'll get to that in a second, but beautiful shot looking out our weather window this afternoon. And this is our Waterville Sky-Fi Tower camera looking at the beautiful Columbia River and just a portion of any ad on your screen, and lots of blue sky out there, no clouds to even bring us any shade this afternoon, and not much of a breeze either. And let's get to that almanac. We did it. All-time record high set today in Wenatchee. 112 degrees unofficially. 82 is where we should be for our normal high. And look at our high temperature for today, set back in 2008. 102. We blew by that. 10 degrees this afternoon. We were 100 degrees at noon today, and it just kept going up from there. Look at the start to our day. 79 degrees, our overnight low. 21 degrees above where we should be for an overnight low of 58. Record low 43, set back in 1964. Sunrise 5:07, and the sun sets tonight at 9:01. Let's take a look at your Wednesday temperatures. Not much help. In fact, we're going to be almost like today all across our region. 113 in Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. 112 again in the Wenatchee area tomorrow. 110 in Ellensburg, also 110 in Leavenworth. Omak, you have been baking. 115 for your high temperature tomorrow. You were 114 yesterday and 115 today as well. Folks in Omak have been steaming up there the last couple of days. Let's take a look at that surface loop now. High pressure, and it hasn't moved for about 2 weeks or so. It's getting some help from this desert southwest area of high pressure, both bringing all of that warmth right up into the Pacific Northwest, and then it gets caught at the top of a dome of heat, and that's what we're pretty much seeing as we get into Wednesday too. Record highs once again tomorrow. I showed you about 112 in Wenatchee, 113 for the Columbia Basin, and then they're baby steps, but we do begin to take that temperature down a little bit. By Thursday, sunny, still unseasonably hot, but we will drop to between 105 and 110 by Thursday. We are still staying hotter than Phoenix, Arizona, and Las Vegas, Nevada through this week. For Friday, sunny and hot once again as we kick off our 4th of July weekend. Temperatures around, that 105-degree mark as high pressure stays firmly entrenched in the eastern Pacific. So that means no changes for us over the next 5-6 days. Saturday, sunny and more of the same. We expect high temperatures between 100 and 105 degrees. And boy, be careful if you are outside and you have to be out there. Independence Day, do anything you want outside, but stay cool. Still unseasonably hot with high temperatures again between 100 and 105 before things do begin to cool down on Monday. Sunny, a bit breezy too, especially right here in central Washington. And for the first time, temperatures on Monday will dip below triple digits. And boy, we are all hoping for that as we get into Monday. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast now. 82, the overnight low tonight. Those air conditioners going to be working overtime. 112 tomorrow, 105 on Thursday. And then as we get into our holiday weekend, we are cooling down. I said it's baby steps, and boy, it is until we get to the 4th of July on Sunday. Sunny and hot and 102, and then some relief, if you can call it that, on Monday. Sunny, still hot, with a high temperature of 99 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
What is home? A place to gather, a place to grow, provide shelter for the ones we love, eat, drink, restore, build trust. It's a place to rest when the workday is done, a place to find quiet after a night of good fun. What an honor we have at Guild to help own finance, create, pave the way to live in home.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. A boys soccer team from right here in Wenatchee has qualified for a national championship in 2 weeks. Wenatchee FC B05 defeated the Chicago Fire and FC Dallas to advance past the National Premier League West playoffs. They beat FC Dallas by a score of 3-1 and Chicago Fire 3-2 in order to advance. That's to the NPL Finals. They'll be back in Commerce City, Colorado for the championship starting on July 8th. Congratulations to Wenatchee. Well, the Apple Sox have their first player to be recognized by the league as a top performer since July of 2019. Hunter Salinas is a sophomore to be at Colorado State Pueblo and has been named the West Coast League's Pitcher of the Week for his work against Cowlitz last Thursday. He's the first Apple Sox to be honored by the league since Ryan Altenberger was 2 years ago. Radio voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, says the recognition for Salinas is well worth it.
Currently has an ERA, I think it's at 0.56. I know it's under 1, and it's something ridiculous because the guy's tossed 4 outings now, 2 of them starts, in which he hasn't allowed any runs. So that's 11 innings just from his starts. And he's earning it this week because on this past Thursday, he went 6 scoreless against Cowlitz and really helped us get that series win. And then you kind of look for that. This is a team that's not going to be led by its starting pitching because Coach Sanderson has them all at a pitch count. He wants them right around 75. Salinas threw a season-high 76 pitches in 6 innings. So kind of just what the doctor ordered right there, but it was really nice to have that to set the table for the bullpen and get the win.
The West Coast League's Moss Adams Player of the Week, also announced Monday by Commissioner Rob Nyer, is Yakima Valley Pippins infielder Chaz Myers. The Pacific University sophomore to be went 11 for 21 with 6 doubles in 5 games for Yakima Valley over the past week. Well, the Apple Sox are preparing to start a 5-game homestand after going 2-4 on their recent road trip, with temperatures in the triple digits starting last weekend and expected through the coming week. Joel Norman, talking with Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, says they're taking the heat into consideration in preparations.
This means we're not going to be having as long of a batting practice, so to speak. We're not going to be going out there working on defensive drills at 3 in the afternoon, the worst time of the day. I think he's just very cognizant of that. And the nice thing in Corvallis was they had cages that were indoor or were covered, and then on Saturday and Sunday, players were hitting over there instead of on the field, just because you've got to save your energy, especially when you're playing a 6:35 game on Saturday, and then Sunday starts at 10:05 a.m. So I think Coach Sanderson did a really nice job conserving their energy, and I'm expecting that a little bit this week as well. It's kind of going to be shorter batting practices overall, less time on the field, just keeping everyone cool, because while there's probably a lot of things he wants to work on, we have to make sure these guys are good to go, because it's a marathon, not a sprint with a baseball game. You've got to be there for 9 innings, not just a few of those innings. And even if we scored 10 runs early on, in a week like this, when the weather's going to be like this, that might not be enough, because the fatigue might really be a factor later on.
Wenatchee's hosting Portland tonight in the first of 3 games, and with the Mercury expected to top out 116 today, Norman says Coach Ian Sanderson is taking all the precautions necessary.
Sanderson talked about that with me this past weekend. He said, with the heat, we've got to be smart. Maybe that means pulling a starter an inning before I'd like to, just because I can tell his energy isn't there for another inning. Maybe that's using 1 or 2 more relievers. The bright side is there's 3 games coming up in league play here, Tuesday through Thursday against Portland, all at 7:35. Then you play 2 non-league games. You can kind of relax a little bit since those games don't matter. You can get guys who maybe haven't had a ton of opportunities, more reps then. So in a lot of ways, especially with the off day today, or as we speak on Monday, a lot of time to prepare and have a full bullpen, full pitching staff, and get everyone the rest they need. Maybe, someone's had 4 at-bats for the first 5 innings because the Apple Sox have scored 8 runs to that point. Maybe you pinch run for him in the 4th. It's little stuff like that, and I think Sanderson's going to do a really good job keeping an eye on each player and knowing, okay, he looks like he's lagging a little bit. I'm going to get him out of here.
Of course, now we were supposed to broadcast that game tonight here on the NCWLIFE channel. We are not going to do so because of the temperatures, and it's just ridiculous out there. So we apologize. The game we will broadcast tonight is the one we did earlier in June between the Apple Sox and Bend Elks. That'll start at 6:30 tonight. Again, Joel is on Sunny FM with the radio broadcast of tonight's game. By the way, you can see the entire interview between Joel and Dan Kuntz on our website at NCWLIFE.com. Well, the only game on the schedule in the West Coast League last night was Corvallis. They brought 9 men to the plate in a 6-run first inning and hung on to beat the Portland Gherkins 9-8. Washington State's Kyler Sencato was the hitting star for the Knights, going 2 for 5 with 2 runs and an RBI. As far as the changes for tonight, well, we talked about it. West Coast League schedule. First, the Apple Sox game with Portland over the next 3 days. And Highline this coming weekend have been moved to 7:35 from 6:35 because of the heat. Ben's game tonight also against Corvallis has been moved to a later start time. The rest of the 6:35 games have Bellingham at Ridgefield. Yakima Valley is hosting Port Angeles, and Cowlitz visits Walla Walla. Well, turning to the Mariners, they're in Buffalo to begin a 3-game series with Toronto today. COVID-19 restrictions being tighter in Canada has still forced the Blue Jays to play their home games at Salem Field in Buffalo. That's home of their AAA farm team, the Bisons. Buffalo Bisons. Isn't that redundant? Well, anyway, Seattle has Chris Flexen on the mound this afternoon. He's 6-3 with a 3.87 ERA. He's going up against the Blue Jays' Robbie Ray, who's 5-3 with a 3.35 earned run average. You can watch that game on Root Sports happening right now. Well, call him Showtime, call him Showstopper, whatever you call him. You might want to call Shohei Ohtani an MVP candidate for the Los Angeles Angels after he hit his 26th homer against the Yankees last night.
Ohtani crushes one deep right field. Goodbye!
He is truly a showstopper. Curveball down and in. And look how he lifts it. Ohtani. Yeah, you have to look at that one, Shohei. You have to. You have to admire it.
Angels went on to beat the Yankees 5-3, and in Houston, Austin Hayes' 2-run homer highlighted a 5-run ninth inning for Baltimore as the Orioles beat Houston 9-7. Astros lead in the West now a game and a half over Oakland and 7 in front of Seattle. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Eric. And finally tonight, Royal City Police Chief Ray Rodriguez came to the rescue of a lost turtle he spotted roaming on a city roadway this morning. Rodriguez said the little turtle wasn't anywhere near a water source, so he gave him a lift to a cooler, wetter area. The turtle wasted little time, making a beeline to the water to ride out today's record heat. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
For Wednesday's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I'll let you know first thing tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. whether we did, in fact, set that all-time record high today. Never seen before since they started taking these measurements. I'll let you know as soon as we get going at 7 o'clock tomorrow. And in the interview portion of this program, our good friend Jefferson Robbins had a chance to sit down with Robert Sealby, the newly appointed Chelan County prosecutor, to talk about his new role. We'll have that interview for you as well, and everything you need to get your Wednesday going. Thank goodness Studio 7 is air-conditioned. Studio 6 is not. It's really hot in there. Tomorrow morning, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live and local at 7 a.m. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.